Ho da ho da ho da ho. Hey guys. Heedy. Just be still with. Just bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I'm rigging y'all up. There we go. Hide. Ho. Yeah? Alexander. Ho. Heedy. Y'all, I'll be there in just a second. I am getting some water. Okie dokie. Hey, y'all. How's everybody doing? Hey, Bill, what's up, buddy? Welcome back. So I'm checking in a little bit early. Checking in a little bit early today. Okay, guys. So earlier today, I was on a live stream. Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and my life. Okay, so earlier today, I did a live stream, and we were talking about alcoholism, and I had quite a few people who wanted me to talk about my experience with alcoholism and what it was like when I went through detox from alcohol and how I got started on alcohol and, you know, just kind of my story around alcohol. If you guys don't know, I am a poly addict. I am an alcoholic and an addict. My sobriety date is July 13th, 2015. I do utilize a medically assisted treatment program, and I'm currently working on a taper with my doctor. Multiple substances, addicted to multiple substances. So, I guess what we'll do is I'm going to give let me see what time it is, 6:52. So I'm going to give about 8 minutes. We'll talk while we'll just be kind of hanging out here. And if there's anything you guys want to talk about before we get started, you can. I'm going to give you guys like what I was talking about yesterday. Hey, Jason. What I was talking about yesterday was I was like, hey guys, let's talk about like in the first 10-15 minutes of my live streams, if you guys kind of want to like check in with each other and greet each other, and you know, if there's anything you want to tell your friends that you see in the chat, you know, or if you just want to say, hey Nicole, I'm here, you can do that, you know, just kind of like letting you guys do your thing at the beginning. I got my book, my big book, and I've got my Courage to Change book. I figured we could do this morning, right now, is I'll read the Courage to Change meditation, and then we can kind of just talk about that, and then we'll talk about alcoholism, and I'll share it with you guys, my experience around that. So this Courage to Change meditation book, it is an Al-Anon meditation book, which is, Al-Anon is a program that loved ones of alcoholics go to. And since my husband is in recovery also, hey, thanks, Bill. I decided, you know what, I'm going to start reading out of this book because it's for people who, you know, who love people who are addicts or alcoholics. So I'm going to read a little bit out of here, and then we'll talk about it. So, thanks to past traditions, I am able to have a sponsor whose politics are adherent to me. Although we totally disagree on other issues, this person has helped me learn valuable lessons about serenity, courage, and wisdom. If I had insisted on a sponsor with political views exactly like mine, I would have missed out on an extraordinarily rich and beneficial relationship. I think that the spirit of the 10th tradition has made this possible. It states that the Al-Anon family groups have no opinion on outside issues. Hence, our name ought never be drawn into public controversy. At the group level, this means that I can go to a meeting and know that I won't be recruited for any particular cause. As a group, we have a single purpose, to support one another as we recover from the effects of alcoholism. But on a personal level, this tradition allows me to establish a valuable relationship with a person who, under less supportive conditions, I might have been hard-pressed to treat with civility. Today's reminder: today I can be more tolerant of others' views as I learn to take what I like and leave the rest. I don't have to let outside issues distract me from my primary spiritual goal. I'll keep the doors open, for I never know where I might find help. I want you guys to listen to that again. I really love, this is what whenever I'm sharing with you guys about like trying a meeting or trying a different program that you've never tried before, like Refuge Recovery or Smart Recovery or AA or NA, this is what I mean by like listen to the similarities, not the differences. Because if we go in closed-minded and we're not like trying to, like hear anything, exactly what's going to happen. We're not going to get anything out of it. But I can find help, you guys, and I can find support in some of the places that you would have never thought. People I never thought I'd even have anything in common with. So here, I'm going to read that reminder again. Today, I can be more tolerant of other views as I learn to take what I like and leave the rest. I don't have to let outside issues distract me from my primary spiritual goal. I'll keep the doors open, for I never know where I might find help. So, I like the whole idea of, like, we don't all have to believe in the same things. We don't all have to believe in the same God. We don't all have to believe in the same political views. Like, we can all be so different, yet, oops, sorry guys. Hey you guys, good point on sponsors. No, I don't care about, I don't care about my doctor's politics. And that's exactly right. Like, I'm going to him because I need him to help me with my health or, medication or anything like that. And I wouldn't get into it with him about the president, So I remember when I first, before I ever got sober and I first started going to like any kind of meetings, right? And when I first started, I remember the first meeting I'd ever went to was an AA meeting. And when I went in like this, you guys. I went in with this big old giant chip on my shoulder. I went in there and everything that was going through my mind was, these people don't know what I'm going through. These people don't understand addiction like I do. And I was just closed off to any ideas, closed off to hearing anything they had to share, because before I even got there, I had already had like a thought in my mind of what it was going to be like. So I wasn't even open to giving it a chance. So that first time I went, I hated it. I left and I never came back. Well, a couple of years went by. Of course, I relapsed again, and I started going to Cocaine Anonymous. And this time I had a sponsor. Her name, she was so cool. Her name was Robin. And I met her while I was in treatment, right? I had went to treatment. I had just moved here to where I'm living now. And I had went to treatment, and I had asked this lady, Robin, to be my sponsor. And Robin she was cool. Robin was a crack cocaine smoker, recovering. She had six years sober. She used to frequent the truck stops, if you know what I mean. And so when she was telling her story, she came up to the treatment center one night, and she was telling her story about how she used to, be at the truck stop, a lot lizard. And she was sharing the story, and she was sharing it, and there was no shame. She was sharing her story and her testimony as, You know, I used to be a lot lizard, but look at me now. You know, I'm recovering, I'm helping others. I'm here to share this experience, strength, and hope with you guys. And I remember when she was sharing her story that it was coming across to me, and I was hearing everything she was saying. Like, I was totally, like, I was connecting with her because she was sharing that real shit. She was sharing that, you know, I've been down to the bottom, you know, and now I don't have to sell my ass anymore, you know. And I was like, yes, I could feel that. I could feel that, you know what I mean? And so after she got done telling her story, I remember I walked up to her and I was like, can I have her number? Can I have your phone number? And I was in treatment, you guys, and she gave me her phone number, and I called her when I got out of treatment. And that was my first ever sponsor. And she started taking me through the steps. And she introduced me to Cocaine Anonymous. And you guys, when I tell you, there ain't nothing like going to Cocaine Anonymous. Best stories, best dance parties, best coffee, best cookies, best fried chicken. I mean, we would have so much fun. And they were always throwing like parties, like New Year's Eve dance party. And it was just, y'all, it was a good time. I stayed in Cocaine Anonymous for almost made it a year. I think I made it to 9 months, and then I relapsed. And when I relapsed, I went out for a while, and then I got connected back to my sponsor again, Rob, and I called her, and I was like, listen, like, I need help, you know. And I asked her if I could, you know, come sleep at her house, and she let me come to her house. Well, I think it's the same 12 steps. It's just called Cocaine Anonymous. Yeah. And then there's HA, Heroin Anonymous, and Narcotics Anonymous, and Alcoholics Anonymous. Yeah. It's not like it's the same 12 steps, but it's its own, you know. We would have these conventions, you guys. I went to this convention in Memphis. Oh my God. It is so cool, girl. I love it. And we had this huge convention in Memphis, Tennessee, you guys. And listen to me. Cocaine Anonymous, okay. You know Leonard from Her Opiate Fix? Everybody in Cocaine Anonymous, or at least to me, they were all like real down to earth like he is. And y'all, they were so accepting of me. They opened their arms and they let me in and they accepted me, and I felt like I fit there, you know. And I stayed there, like I said, almost for a whole year, and I relapsed. Okay, so but that was the first meeting that I ever went to, and I started like hearing people that were sharing things that I could understand. They were sharing that they had been down where I had been, and now they were back, they were out of it. They were recovering and making good choices, and they had jobs, and they were, you know, driving nice vehicles, and you know what I mean? Like, they were making their lives. They were becoming better people. And that was the first time I could ever like relate to that. And I had hope that maybe that could happen for me, you know, just maybe I could get what these people had, right? So, I don't know why I started on that tangent about Cocaine Anonymous. But anyway, that's how I got into the anonymous programs. And then I came back around and I started going to AA. And I've been going to AA ever since. But I had to find like a group that I felt comfortable in. And here where I live, we have awesome groups here that are just like, so they're just awesome, you guys. Good people, good people. But anyways, I had some girls that wanted to talk about alcoholism tonight. And I think it was a lady named Blaine's mom. And then Danny wanted to talk about alcoholism. And then a couple of other ladies had requested that I talk about alcoholism. Yeah, and Bill, you can go if you're a cocaine user, if you're a crack user, if you're a meth user. I mean, you could go if you're an alcoholic. It's just CA, Cocaine Anonymous. You could go. I mean, you don't have to be a cocaine addict, but because at that time, you know, I had done cocaine and I had shot it, but I wasn't like, that wasn't the drug that I was addicted on at that time that I was in the program. And I loved it. I loved it. It was so good, you guys. So I wanted to talk to you guys about alcoholism because I feel like what happens with some of us who are addicts is some of us are not alcoholics too, or we can like take it, we can drink a little bit of alcohol and nothing bad happens. But for me, that's not the story. I'm an alcoholic and I'm an addict. And if I drink alcohol, what happens is I drink to get wasted, and then I will keep drinking. So I don't drink. But I wanted to share with you guys because I had some girls that were, well, they were kind of like on the fence on whether or not they were an alcoholic or not. So I wanted to read to you guys some parts out of this big book that will help you to diagnose yourself whether you're an alcoholic or not. Because sometimes I can understand that, you know, without having like negative consequences, a lot of us are kind of like, I don't know if I'm an alcoholic, you know? So. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to read to you guys about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So y'all listen to this and you tell me what you think, okay? I really hope this helps you guys. I hope this helps you guys understand, all right? So, okay, here we go. None of us makes a sole vocation of this work, nor do we think its effectiveness would be increased if we did. We feel the elimination of our drinking is but a beginning. A much more important demonstration of our principles lies before us in our respective homes, occupations, and affairs. All of us spend much of our spare time in the sort of effort which we are going to describe. A few are fortunate enough to be so situated that they can give nearly all their time to the work. If we keep on the way we are going, there is little doubt that much good will result, but the surface of the problem would hardly be scratched. Those of us who live in large cities are overcome by the reflection that close by hundreds are dropping into oblivion every day. Many could recover if they had the opportunity we have enjoyed. How then shall we present that which has been so freely given to us? So he's talking about how are we going to share with everybody this program, okay? We have concluded to publish an anonymous volume setting forth the problem as we see it. We shall bring to the task our combined experience and knowledge. This should suggest a useful program for anyone concerned with a drinking problem. Of necessity, there will have to be discussion of matters medical, psychiatric, social, and religious. We are aware that these matters are, from their very nature, controversial. Nothing would please us much as to write a book which would contain no basis for contention or argument. We shall do our utmost to achieve that idea. Most of us sense that real tolerance of other people's shortcomings and viewpoints and a respect for their opinions are attitudes which make us more useful to others. Our very lives as ex-problem drinkers depend upon our constant thought of others and how we may help meet their needs. Okay, what was it? Am I in the right place? Okay, here we go. But okay, here's where they talk about the 3 different types of alcoholics. Hey, Lisa. Okay, so listen up, you guys. Okay, now these are commonplace observations on drinkers which we hear all the time. Back of them is a world of ignorance and misunderstanding. We see that these expressions refer to people whose reactions are very different from ours. And what he's referring to is, why don't you try beer and wine? Lay off the hard stuff. His willpower must be weak. He could stop if he wanted to. She's such a sweet girl. I should think she'd stop for her sake. Okay? Moderate drinkers have little trouble in giving up liquor entirely, if they have good reason for it. They can take it or leave it alone. Then we have a certain type of hard drinker. He may have the habit badly enough to gradually impair him physically and mentally. It may cause him to die a few years before his time. In a sufficiently strong reason, ill health, falling in love, change of environment, or the warning of a doctor becomes operative. This man can also stop or moderate, although he may find it difficult and troublesome, and may even need medical attention. Nate, you're going to have to wait until I'm done with this.
Give me something to eat.
Nate, I just fed you, bud. Here, come and get a cereal bar. Here. Come on. Thank you. Okay. But what about the real alcoholic? Here's the real alcoholic. Now listen, okay, guys? He may start off as a moderate drinker. He may or may not become a continuous hard drinker, but at some stage of his drinking career, he begins to lose all control of his liquor consumption once he starts to drink. Now, listen, at some stage, it doesn't matter if it's at the beginning stages, the middle stages, the end stages. It doesn't matter if you started drinking when you were 16, stopped when you were 18, and then started back when you were 30. And at some point in that drinking, you lose control of your consumption, and you cannot stop drinking once you start. Here is the fellow who has been puzzling you, especially in his lack of control. He does absurd, incredible, tragic things while drinking. He is a real Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He is seldom mildly intoxicated. He is always more or less insanely drunk. His disposition while drinking resembles his normal nature, but little. He may be one of the finest fellows in the world. Yet let him drink for a day, and he frequently becomes disgustingly and even dangerously antisocial. He has a positive genius for getting tight at exactly the wrong moment, particularly when some important decision must be made or an engagement kept. He is often perfectly sensible and well-balanced concerning everything except liquor, but in that respect he is incredibly dishonest and selfish. He often possesses special abilities, skills, and aptitudes, and has a promising career ahead of him. He uses his gift to build up a bright outlook for his family and himself, and then pulls the structure down on his head by a senseless series of sprees. He is the fellow who goes to bed so intoxicated he ought to sleep the clock around. Yet early the next morning he searches madly for the bottle he misplaced the night before. If he can afford it, he may have liquor concealed all over his house to be certain no one gets his entire supply away from him to throw down the waste pipe. As matters grow worse, he begins to use a combination of high-power sedatives and liquor to quiet his nerves so he can go to work. Then comes the day when he simply cannot make it and gets drunk all over again. Perhaps he goes to a doctor who gives him morphine or some sedative with which to taper off. Then he begins to appear at hospitals and sanitariums. This is by no means a comprehensive picture of the true alcoholic, as our behavior patterns vary, but this description should identify him roughly. Why does he behave like this? If hundreds of experiences have shown him that one drink means another debacle with all its attendant suffering and humiliation, why is it that he takes that one drink? Why can't he stay on the wagon? What has become of the common sense and willpower that he still sometimes displays with respect to other matters? Perhaps there never will be a full answer to these questions. Opinions vary considerably as to why the alcoholic reacts differently from normal people. We are not sure why, once a certain point is reached, little can be done for him. We cannot answer the riddle. We know that while the alcoholic keeps away from drink, as he may do for months or years, he reacts much like other men. We are equally positive that once he takes any alcohol whatsoever into his system, something happens, both in the bodily and mental sense, which makes it virtually impossible for him to stop. The experience of any alcoholic will abundantly confirm this. These observations would be academic and pointless if our friend never took the first drink, thereby setting the terrible cycle in motion. Therefore, the main problem of the alcoholic centers in his mind rather than in his body. If you ask him why he started on that last bender, the chances are he will offer you any one of 100 alibis. Sometimes these excuses have a certain plausibility, but none of them really make sense in the light of the havoc an alcoholic's drinking bout creates. They sound like the philosophy of the man who, having a headache, beats himself on the head with a hammer so that he can't feel the ache. If you draw this fallacious reasoning to the attention of an alcoholic, he will laugh it off or become irritated and refuse to talk. Y'all, so this is the thing. Once we start, we can't stop. Okay, you can talk about this whether it's with alcohol, you can talk about this with crack, cocaine, meth, weed, pills, heroin, oxy, roxy, whatever your poison is, okay? Once we start, we can't stop, okay? It's like Pringles chips. Once you pop, you can't stop, all right? And that first drink or drug is what sets us off on that spree. And once we go on that spree, it's a vicious cycle, repeating itself over and over and over again. And this whole thing saying, listen, he will laugh it off or become irritated and refuse to talk. If you confront the alcoholic or the addict with the problem, why did you do this? Why did you go out and relapse? Why did you get high? Why are you drinking? Why are you drunk again? You know you just drove your car into a brick wall and got a DWI. Why are you drinking again? They get mad or they don't want to talk about it. Or they say, I don't know. I don't know. Because you know what? They don't know. Because once they take the first drink, the phenomenon of craving kicks in and they lose all mental faculties. All this out the door. Same with other drugs. If you have the disease of addiction or alcoholism, if we take the first drink or drug, we are off to the races. And for a lot of us, we were talking earlier about how going to the barber shop. If you keep going to the barber shop, you're going to get a haircut. If you're working in a place where they sell alcohol and you're an alcoholic, I mean, it's not a safe idea. It's not a safe idea. And I know a lot of you men are like, I'm going to grab that tiger by the cojones and I'm going to stare him right in his eyes. But you know what? Listen to me, men. That's playing with fire. Don't put yourself in the lion's mouth. Don't go in his den. Use your brain, not your cojones. You want to protect your recovery and protect your sobriety. And what happens, is our brains are such power. They're so powerful, you guys. And we have these thoughts that say, I can just have one and nobody will know. Or what's just one little nip, it'll just give me a little relief and I can relax. This last relapse was a free-for-all, started with benzos and ended with cocaine and alcohol. Lisa, and that's how it starts. For a lot of us who have addiction, when we start out with benzodiazepine, what happens is that lowers our inhibitions, okay? That gets us all loosened up. And then we get loosened up and we're like, okay, well, now I need to get right because I'm all messed up. Let me go out and get an upper. So then we want to get up so we can sober ourselves up. And then once we go that route, it's like, it's the same way with my husband every time. He does the same thing with benzos. It's like, let me get a couple benzos because I need to relax. And then he goes over that threshold. There's no relaxing, you guys. If you're an addict and you want to take something to relax, you're going to go over that threshold every single time. There's no like, oh, I'm just going to take one. You know what I mean? Xanax, Valium, read a little bit more. So listen to this. Once in a while, he may tell the truth. And the truth, strange to say, is usually that he has no more idea why he took that first drink than you have. Is it bad to be on benzos long term for certain mental illnesses? No, I don't think so. Lydia, listen, seriously, a lot of people have naloxone would say, you know, that and you need to be on medication and you're not abusing it, then there's no, you know, it's no, you're fine, baby. Okay. You just be where you're at. If you're not abusing your medication and you need it to function and you're not getting high on it and going out and acting all crazy. See, I can't take those kind of pills because when I'm on those kind of pills, I steal stuff and I eat them all. You could not give me a prescription for 30 of those and they would be gone in the first night. That's I cannot take those kind of medications because I like the effects produced by them. And I just want to pop them like they're M&Ms. Yeah. See, a lot of people are on medications for anxiety. And listen to me, don't let anybody make you feel bad. For me, those medications are like, girl, for me, that's just a little breath mint to start out the first course. And then I'm off. Then I'm going to go get cocaine. I'm going to go get methamphetamine. I'm going to go get, oh Lord, some Roxy's, and I'm going to shoot them up and I'm going to have a big party. That's how it starts out with me. Benzodiazepines are my, what are they called? You know what I'm talking about. Appetizers. Now, when I started out, I had a prescription for them. I have a very, very, very high strung. This is pissing me off. Sorry, guys. Can y'all see me? I took them and I realized that, you know what? These make me feel good. And then I started abusing them. See? So, and you know, it's kind of crazy because that's how I was with benzodiazepine. But with like my medication that I'm on now, like with Suboxone, I guess it's because it doesn't produce that euphoric feeling. I don't like keep taking it. Now, don't get me wrong. I tried, but it doesn't give you that feeling. So I stopped, you know. And then I started really wanting to stay sober and started changing what I was doing, you know. So yeah, everybody's different, you guys, okay? And if I'm talking about how I abused benzos or how I abused alcohol or how I abused, but if it's a medication I'm talking about, don't think that I'm saying that nobody can be on that because that's just not the case. There are a lot of people that can take benzodiazepines as prescribed and live good lives. There are a lot of people who are prescribed opiates because they have severe chronic pain and they don't ever become addicted. They don't ever overtake their medication. But that's what I'm trying to get to right here. They don't have the disease of addiction, okay? They don't have the mental disorder that tells them in their mind, oh, this is a reward. This makes me feel good. I need to take more. You know, their bodies break the medication and the alcohol down differently than someone who is an addict or an alcoholic. When I break it down, my body, the little reward pleasure sensors start going off in my brain. And I've associated those feel-good feelings with more. I need to take more of that. I need to take more of that. And that has happened over a time with my brain. I just keep on feeding it more and more and more, you know? Okay, so let's read this part. So it says, once in a while, he may tell the truth. And truth, strange to say, is usually that he has no more idea why he took that first drink than you have. Some drinkers have excuses with which they are satisfied part of the time. But in their hearts, they really do not know why they do it. Once this malady has a real hold, they are baffled a lot. There is the obsession that somehow, someday, they will beat the game. But they often suspect they are down for the count. Okay, so this is what I was talking to you guys about, the malady. Once this malady has a real hold, this void, this loss inside that we feel we need to fill up with alcohol, pills, drugs, all those things. It could be food, it could be sex, it could be gambling, it could be spending money on your credit card and buying jewelry or makeups all the time. Like, these are all addictions that you can trade, and you can start doing in place of the other. It's because we're trying to feel something inside of us, you guys, that we don't feel is there. And then we go into this obsession that somehow, someday, we will be able to drink and use successfully and not have negative consequences. And then what happens is we go on this crazy adventure. Well, I don't know, this crazy fucking horrible nightmare where we're constantly trying to find that's just right combination. That if I only take one and then snort this and then drink that, maybe I won't get a DWI tonight. Or, if I only take pills and then drink a little on the weekend, I won't get fired from my job. Or my husband won't know. If I only take a half, then my husband won't know. Hey, rogue exploration. Or if I take a couple and then get home before she gets here and go to sleep, then nobody will find out and I can sleep it off before they get here. We're in that obsession to beat the game, to beat the addiction. How true is this? Few realize. In a vague way, their families and friends sense that these drinkers are abnormal, but everybody hopefully awaits the day when the sufferer will rouse himself from his lethargy and assert his power of will. The tragic truth is that if the man be a real alcoholic, the happy day might not arrive. He has lost control. At a certain point in the drinking of every alcoholic, he passes into a state where the most powerful desire to stop drinking is of absolutely no avail. This tragic situation has already arrived in particularly every case long before it is suspected. The fact is that most alcoholics, for reasons yet obscure, have lost the power of choice in drink. Our so-called willpower becomes practically non-existent. We are unable at certain times to bring into our consciousness with sufficient enough force the memory of suffering and humiliation of even a week or a month ago. We are without defense against the first drink. This is what I was talking to you guys about, euphoric recall. We can't, when we take the first drink, or the first pill, or the first line, or the first puff, or the first toot, we cross over into obsession and spree time. And once we take the first, everything goes to shit. Everything goes to shit. We can't remember that a year ago, our children got taken away from us and are in DHS custody. We can't remember that last month we drank so much that we passed out behind the wheel and drove our car off the street and got a DWI. We don't remember that fight that we had with our husband a month ago because we were eating too many Xanaxes. Well, rogue, and we drink a 100 proof rum and end ourselves in the hospital. And then we'll get out and do it again. Because we are without, we don't have any defense against alcoholism and addiction until we start trying to get better and get into recovery and working the 12 steps and going to meetings and getting a sponsor and doing therapy and learning about the disease of addiction and alcoholism, which are basically the same thing, you guys. Alcoholism is addiction, okay? When people say, you know, well, she should just be able to stop. She should just be strong enough. She should have enough willpower to stop, you know, drinking or using. We lose power of control. And this is what I've been talking to you guys about. This is what happens when you're drinking and using. You lose control. You lose the power of choice. Okay? When you're putting drugs and alcohol into your body, you lose the power of choice. That's why, you know how people will say, well, they're high or they're drunken right now. We can't talk to them. We'll talk to them tomorrow when they're sobered up. Because no, you can't get through to anybody who's in the madness. You know, when they're right in the middle of that. We got to wait till they sober up and they're clear minded and they can hear what we're saying to them. And hopefully when they're in that clear headedness, that little moment of clarity, that they'll hear something and they'll say, you know what? I got to get back. I got to get back on track because I'm lost and I don't want to die. You know, that's what would happen to me is I would get so far out. I would be out there. I'd be out doing all kinds of craziness. And then I would sober up for a little bit, couple days, you know, and I would be with my family or I'd be with my friends that were, you know, trying to be sober too. And that's when it would hit me like, I got to do better than this. I'm better than this. What am I doing with my life? You know, why am I letting myself do this? Why am I letting myself go? And then what would happen is I would have no strength. I would have no defense against the drink or the drug. And then the dope man would come around or my friends would come over to party and I would slide right back into it because I didn't have any way to fight it. And so when we get sober, we've got to build our support system and build recovery up around us so that way we can fight those temptations, we can fight the triggers, we can fight those thoughts that come into our mind that tell us, oh, you know, one won't hurt. You guys, I cannot tell you how many years I kept on thinking that one wouldn't hurt, and I would go out and I would get just one. And then that just one would lead to just 2, just 3, just 4, just 5, just 6. I cannot tell you how many times I sobered up, went back out, and overdosed right then on the first try and ended up in the hospital. Because I was trying to get sober, but I was trying to get sober on my terms. I was trying to get sober and do recovery the way I wanted to do it. I wanted to do just the bare minimum of what I had to do to stay sober. I didn't want to listen to what you had to say. I still wanted to go around my dope head friends. I still wanted to kick it over at the drug dealer's house. I just didn't want to be high. But see, my actions didn't show that I didn't want to be high. My actions showed that I wanted to do what I wanted to do. So I would go around and I'm sober, guys. I'm sober. 2 days, hey! And then my buddies would come over with a bag and I'd be like, 2 days, psh, let's get high. Okay? It's just like, you know, when we can look back, if you can look back on your life back then and you can see like, yo, if you're listening when I'm reading this and you're like, yeah, that was me. It's like, you guys, it's so easy to say, I'll stop tomorrow. It's so easy to say, oh, well, I'm not that bad. Well, it's so easy to compare ourselves and say, well, Jan down the street, she drinks a whole 5th. I only drink half. It's so easy to minimize our problem when we have a problem. Because you know what? We don't want to face it. We don't want to face our problems. Hey, fell into trouble. We want to think Jan down the street is a lush, but we aren't. You know, I used to, listen to me. I know you guys. I used to always look at other people and say, well, at least I'm not doing that. And that's how it always starts out. It always starts out, at least I'm only drinking beers. I haven't graduated to liquor. You know, it always starts out like that. It always starts out with, you know, I'm only taking a couple pills. You know, I'm okay. I'm not shooting and I'm not snorting. Hey, Rep. It always starts out with a justification and the rationalization of why we're drinking or using. But listen to me, you guys. Why do we have to drink at all? Why do we need to use at all? What are we trying to escape? Why are we trying to change the way we feel? Ask yourself that. Is there something inside of yourself that you don't want to feel? Is that why you're drinking, to cover up what you're going through? If you have to drink to relax, what's going on in your life that is so stressful? And whatever that is, you need to take that out of your life. I want to do things and be sober and be present. I want to be a part of my son's life, and I want to see him grow up and be present and be a mom that can run out on the soccer field with him and kick the balls and jump in the water and do cannonballs and all those things. And I can't do that if I'm drinking and drugging. Me too fell into trouble. I will drink until the house shuts down. It's easy, you guys, because alcohol is it's acceptable in our society. Because what's going on today in the world with the heroin epidemic, a lot of us who struggle with alcoholism will say, well, at least I'm not a heroin addict. But let me just tell you that alcohol is just as deadly, if not more dangerous, than heroin. Drinking yourself to death is no... I had a friend, let me tell you guys a story. I had a friend I grew up with since kindergarten. We graduated together. His name was Matt. Matt was an alcoholic. He was an alcoholic for as early as I can remember. I think 16, 17 years old. By the time we were both 20, 24, 25, we were both shooting up methamphetamine, shooting up Roxy, drinking, snorting, all those things. But Matt had to wake up in the morning and drink a fifth of vodka. He couldn't go throughout the day without drinking vodka. He would go to the liquor store every morning and get those nasty things of vodka. Okay? He had them all over his apartment, all over his refrigerator, in the freezer, in the bedroom, under the bed. Poor Matt's stomach was so swelled out because his liver and his kidneys were all fucked up and shutting down. So I hadn't heard from him. I'm 36 now. I hadn't heard from him in years. But the last time I left him, y'all still there? He got out of prison and he called me last year. And when he called me, out of nowhere, you guys. And he had been seeing my videos on Facebook. And he was like, needing help. He said, I can't wake up without drinking. I can't go to bed without drinking. I can't even go on a date with a girl without drinking. I'm sitting here right now and I can't not drink. Alcohol is my master. Alcohol tells me when to take a shower. I have seen people like him who they drink morning, noon, and night, and they can't help it. They have to drink to feel okay. They have to drink to be well and to not be sick. He's going to die. If he's not already dead, he's going to die of alcoholism. I remember he called me and I was crying my eyes out. I felt so horrible because I wanted to help him. So I told him, I said, call me in the morning. Call me in the morning and we will get you set up with some treatment and I will help you get into detox. I never heard from him. And he was facing prison time again. So for some of us, jails, institution, and death is what it takes for us to get sober. So hopefully he went to jail and got sobered up. So what happened, Share Bear? Tell us what happened, girl. You guys, Share Bear is struggling with alcoholism. She's really having a hard time not drinking. Which, Share, the reason you're struggling is because you're an alcoholic, baby. The obsession to drink is so strong. And you're just, girl, the best thing that you could do, Share, is go to detox and sit in there and get yourself get yourself a week away from alcohol. That way when you come out, you're fresh and you have a fresh start, and then you can get a sponsor and start going to some meetings. But I knew, Share, please don't be mad at me, but I knew you were going to drink tonight. You know why? Because you were already planning for it. Do you want to not drink? Do you want to be sober from alcohol, baby? That's what you have to ask yourself. I'm not mad at you. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I worry about you, Share Bear, because you're drinking and you're on medications. So that makes me concerned for you, because that can kill you. You could go to sleep tonight and not wake up. That is why I don't want you to drink. But you have to get honest with yourself. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, do I want to stop drinking? You know, I mean, yeah, so you're going to be all right, though. Just, here's the thing. I know, baby. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard because alcoholism is a disease. And what happens with your alcohol, you have an alcoholic mind, and your brain is telling you, I mean, listen to me. For a person who doesn't have alcoholism, going to the restaurant and not having a drink is easy. But to someone who suffers with a disease, it is not easy. Just like us who suffer with a disease of addiction, it is not easy to say no to the Xanax, to the hydrocodone, to the cocaine. If it's in front of our face, you guys, it is like dangling a piece of steak in front of a tiger's mouth. That's what it's like whenever you have drugs or alcohol in front of somebody who struggles with a disease of addiction and alcoholism. It is like waving a damn steak in front of a vicious tiger with the blood dripping off of it and everything. I wouldn't take your Xanax tonight. Especially, you drink vodka. Grey Goose has vodka in it. You could be all fucked up, girl. Then you're going to be making a video. Then we're going to be dancing naked on the damn YouTube. Fell into trouble. I know. And that's the thing, you guys. Like, we have got, when we're early in recovery, here's Share Bear. This is what I got to say to you, girl. If you want to stop this drinking, you got to stop setting yourself up for failure. You put yourself in the middle of the alcohol. You put yourself in the restaurant. There was probably waiters with bottles and glasses and everything everywhere. Don't put yourself in that position. Don't torture yourself. If you're trying to stop drinking, don't go into the middle of the bar and grill. Just stay home, relax with your man, watch a movie, have a slumber party, okay? Don't stop putting yourself in the middle of that. You guys, this is what we do, though. We think, oh, I can do this. I'm strong enough. I've got this. You are an alcoholic. You are an addict. You don't got this. You have to practice getting this. You have to practice staying sober. You have to practice not drinking and using. Especially when you practice drinking and using every day for so many years, it's like second nature to do it, you guys. So now you have to practice staying sober. Just like you practice drinking and using, okay? Here we go. Let's read this. There is a complete failure of the kind of defense that keeps one from listen to this, Share Bear. This is my Share Bear. The almost certain consequences that follow taking even a glass of beer do not crowd into the mind to deter us. We don't even think about what could happen if we drink. If these thoughts occur, they are hazy and readily supplanted with the old threadbare idea that this time we shall handle ourselves like other people. This time I'm going to drink and I'll be a lady. I'm not going to get on YouTube and flash my titties to everybody. I'm telling you, Share Bear, now listen to me. This is what's going through her mind. I'm going to drink and I'll be just fine. There is a complete failure of the kind of defense that keeps one from putting his hands on a hot stove. The alcoholic may say to himself in the most casual way, "It won't burn me this time, so here's how." Or perhaps he doesn't think that at all. How often have some of us begun to drink in this nonchalant way, and after the third or fourth, pounded on the bar and said to ourselves, "For God's sakes, how did I ever get started again?" Only to have that thought supplanted by, "Well, I'll stop with the sixth drink." Or what's the use anyhow? I've already messed up. I already had the glass of wine. Might as well have a Grey Goose and vodka. When this sort of thinking is fully established in an individual with alcoholic tendencies, he has probably placed himself beyond human aid, and unless locked up, may die or go permanently insane. These stark and ugly facts have been confirmed by legions of alcoholics throughout history. But for the grace of God, there would have been thousands more convincing demonstrations. So many want to stop, but cannot. Girl, there ain't nothing to be sorry about. Don't be sorry to me. Don't be sorry to me. I'm not upset with you at all. Be sorry for your... Be upset. Don't be upset. Don't think I'm mad at you. I don't want you to be sorry to me. I want you to be sorry to yourself. You deserve sobriety. You deserve recovery. You don't have to change the way you are anymore. You're doing great in your life. You have a wonderful husband. Your kids are all grown up. You got your own place. You're living the good life. You deserve to have a sober, good life. You have to drink to not think or feel, and that's the thing, like, you have to want to be present. You have to want to feel and be happy. Yeah?
You went to the bathroom.
This kid. Okay, I'm coming. This is a bunch of malarkey. My son, I'm coming. Hold on.
I watched the show. It does this.
Sure, you're not. Don't be mad. I'm not upset with you though.
I watched the show. Yeah.
Where?
It's just like a green.
Whoa, Big Papa. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, go give your daddy some hugs and kisses.
That was bigger than you.
That was pretty big. He went potty, y'all. Okay, guys. I'm sorry. I have to come up here and take the baby. Okay. Cher, I'm not upset with you, girl. Okay? I'm not mad at you. You don't have to be sorry. Don't beat yourself up, okay? We'll start again tomorrow. Not a big deal. Okay? I want you to be careful and try not to take that Xanax tonight because you have been drinking and that's not good for you. Okay? Hey, Melinda. Sorry, guys. I gave up my gun 7 years ago. My life would be for you. Yeah, fell into trouble. There you go. That $20. You can't just do it because that $20 will get you started. All right, girl, go to bed. We love you. We're not disappointed in you. We love you, okay? We just want you to be happy. That's all. Nobody's upset with you, Cher, okay? I'm not mad at you at all. So, Message us in the morning. So you guys, that's how cunning, baffling, and powerful alcohol is, you guys. Okay, alcohol tells us it's not a big deal, you know, and that we can just have one and that it'll be okay, you know, and it might be okay. You know, you might have one drink that night and everything be fine. But I'm telling you, what happens is then you have one more the next night. Then you have another the next night. And eventually what happens is you keep on and keep on and keep on. And that's when the things start going wrong. That's when, you know, we start building tolerance, and then we start drinking more. And I want to feel today, and I want to, like I said, I want to be present. I want to be here. I want to be happy in the inside and not have to make myself happy with drugs and alcohol. I don't want to have to change the way I feel anymore. I want to be here with you guys, and if I'm sad, I'm going to be sad. If I'm mad, I'm going to be mad. Happy, I'm going to be happy, but I'm going to be me. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to be true. I'm going to be loyal. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be dependable. That's me today. Those are the characteristics I want to have today. You know, I'm not checking out of life anymore. Exactly, Melinda, because that's what I did for so many years. And checking out on life, where did it get me? Where did it get me? Nowhere. You know, I want more for my life today, you guys. It's a different world. And you know what? You guys, some days I'm like, life sucks. But then most of the days, you guys, I love life, right? Hey, fresh fruits, what's up? I pretty much love life most of the time, you know, but I want to feel my feelings today. Good, bad, indifferent, you know. I want to feel, and I want to be a part of what's going on. When I was on drugs and alcohol, you guys, I checked the fuck out. When I was shooting Roxy's, I would have bruises all over my legs and my arms, because I would fall all over the place. Okay? One night, me and my husband were in a hotel room when we first met. Okay? And I was shooting up Dilaudid, I think. And I was falling all over the place in the bathtub. And I was passing out, you guys, in the bathtub. I'm 36. I'll be 37 in March. And I would just have these bruises all over my body, you guys, where I wasn't awake. I don't even know how the bruises would get there, because I would be OD'd. I would be passed out. I would be nodded out. When I was doing meth, I would be so high, you guys, that I would be in the corner somewhere. Say this is a pillow. I would cut this pillow open it up, and be looking inside of it, thinking that there was a camera hidden in there or some kind of wired device. I was out of my mind. Sure, it didn't, like when I first started doing drugs, I wasn't out of my mind at first. But the longer you keep putting those drugs into your body, the crazier you go. You know, when I first started doing meth and cocaine, it was just like, you know, on the movies. Pupils get big, want to have sex. You keep doing that for a couple of years, you start going crazy. You start seeing shit that's not there. You start fucking losing a bunch of weight. Teeth start going bad. All kinds of bad things. Nate?
Yes?
Did your dad just leave? Okay, what did he say?
Nothing.
Did he tell you to tell me he loved me?
He told me that he told me that go say, Mommy, did I hate you?
Oh, you don't say hate me to Mama. No.
Oh, hi guys. Hi guys, I'm stupid. Hi guys, I'm stupid.
No, you're not. Okay, I'm gonna come lay down with you. I'm off.
Yeah.
Stop! Stop! Okay, guys, I'm gonna let you go. He's being silly. I walked in my mother. Stop, Nate. Walked in my brother.
Mom, is
Oh wow.
too
Fresh fruits, really? I am so sorry. But listen,
me.
when we walk in on a loved one, you know, in that moment, it is like they are like, it's like being exposed, you know? How to take action for your brother or sister that's using. Me too fell into trouble. Me too. Trying to hide it and act like I wasn't doing that, you know? And you guys, it just sucks. Like addiction and alcoholism suck. Nate, stop. Stop. Nate, I love you. I love you guys. I got to get up off here because this boy is about to drive me insane. Fresh fruits, email me, okay? And we can talk and all that kind of stuff. But baby, listen to me. Your brother or sister, they have to want to change, okay? And they have to be willing to change. You can't make them change, okay? For many, many, many years, my family let me go. They just kicked me out.
It feels like
Okay, well then get up, son.
I was trying
So,
to put my
you know what I would do? I would talk to my brother and sister. I would let them know how much I love them, that I'm always here for them if they need me. And, you know, just be there for them. And if they need help finding treatment, you tell them, hey, I got this girl, Nicole. She said she'll help you find treatment. I'm serious. All you gotta do is message me and I'll help you find resources. Okay? I don't work for any treatment center. I don't work for anybody. That's just my free time. If you need help finding resources, I will dedicate my free time to helping you find treatment. Okay, you guys? I don't work for nobody. It's just because somebody helped me find treatment. Okay? All right, you guys. I love y'all and I hope y'all have a great day. And tomorrow morning, I will be live for morning motivation at 9 a.m. And then tomorrow's Friday, right? Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. So Saturday, we're doing the step study. So be ready for that. Tomorrow night, we're probably just going to have a free-for-all. If you guys have anything you guys want to talk about, message me, email me, DM me on Instagram, and let me know. And we will talk about whatever y'all want to talk about tomorrow. But tomorrow morning, like I said, 9 a.m. we'll do morning motivation. And then tomorrow night, I'll see you guys back here about 6:50, 7 o'clock. Okay? I love you guys. I had a great night. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.